Then I realized something was missing. Me. My symptoms were keeping me from being there for her. So I talked to my doctor and learned Humira is the #1 prescribed biologic for people with Crohn's disease. The majority of people on Humira saw significant symptom relief in as little as 4 weeks, and many achieved remission that can last.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, remission is possible.
Here we go!
Marathon has the fuel to keep your engine running at peak performance.
Through its first 3 games of the regular season, Maine's defense has not been good. We saw in the first offensive possession for NIU today, the Black Bears didn't really push back. What do they need to do to slow down this Huskies offense?
Well, I think for the Maine defensive line, they've got to do some tricks. They've got to do some stunts. They've got to try and make the offensive linemen think during their pre-snap reads. You can't just play a base defense, because you've got some hand eaters on that offensive line for NIU. So I think they've got to try and confuse them and try and mix it up a little bit.
Whaley met after a 3-yard gain. Well, Maine's defense at the moment is last in the CAA in total defense, in sacks, and in third down conversion percentage, but they bow up a little bit there.
Well, because you've got congestion. You don't have any lanes for the back to run. And that's what they have to do. You've got to get up the field initially, but then you've got to continue to mix it up. If you mix it up, now you create a thinking problem for the offense. Right now, once again, you see what they're doing. They're mixing it up, and they are not allowing the backs to break to the outside.
Austin Chambers, graduate student and Brigham Young transfer, making the stop of Whaley there.
And what they're doing, they're allowing the linebackers to flow downhill. The safety is coming up and getting in those lanes. That's what you have to do. You cannot allow these offensive linemen to get to the second level defenders and cover them up. As long as the defensive linemen do their job, play their role, play their gap, I think the Maine defense can get and have more success with stopping this rushing attack.
3rd down and 5. Movement.
And it may be the right guard that jumped off prematurely.
Well, they called it being Nolan Potter, but he wasn't the only one.
And offensive coaches hate this more than anything, because as the offensive player, you know the snap count. You have to wonder, was that on the center, because multiple linemen moved at the same time.
Yeah.
So that might have been on the center.
Logan Schernitz, number 65, a guard, also went early. So now back him up 5 yards, 3rd and 10. On a design run up the middle, Lombardi is tripped up. The tackle made by Kyrie Manns, the sophomore defensive end from New Rochelle, New York.
And a great play by White, because if he doesn't tackle Lombardi, I think he's still running. The lane was wide open. The middle of the field was wide open. Watch Manns on this play. A good job deciphering what was going on and being able to grab his ankle at the last minute.
Well, he really developed through the spring and summer. Young man with a bright future in Orono. So a 3-and-out forced by this Maine defense. It's the punt by Ferentz. Into the wind. It backs up and lands at about the 20 and takes a roll right toward the goal line. It's going to be down by the Huskies at the 1-yard line.
And you couldn't ask for a better punt. I mean, what else do you ask from your punter on that play? Great hang time and great roll.
So Messiah Travis down to cover that punt, and you couldn't have asked for more. And just when the Maine defense gave the Black Bears something good to feel about, now they're staring at a 99-yard field.
And oh, how momentum shifts. You had Maine feeling really good about that last defensive series, and now they've got their backs up against the goal line.
Well, Maine head coach Nick Charlton used to be the special teams coordinator at Maine a few years ago, and he continues to make special teams